Lonergan's going to throw from his own end zone. Dangerously intercepted. It's Massis with his fourth on the year, and he gets it all the way down to the 2. Sangapolatelli. He can run if he wants. Throws downfield. Has his tight end in mini. Inside the 10. He'll score.
Kid got every temptation to tuck it and run it. He says, nah, I'm a pocket passer. Keeps his eyes downfield. Rips a tight spiral through every layer of the defense.
Bond in motion. Lonergan looking his way. Over the middle. Intercepted. Picked off by Luke Farrelly.
You know it.
What?
Tell the story.
What? Tell the whole damn world this is bear territory. You know it. What? Tell the story. What? Tell the whole damn world this is bear territory. You know it. What? Tell the story. What? Tell the whole damn world this is bear territory. Yeah!
Now that's more like it. What a great scene from the locker room following the Golden Bears' 28-24 victory over the Boston College Eagles at Chestnut Hill Saturday night. And wow, what a roller coaster ride that was. As my good friend Tom Frank said right after the game, 9 out of 10 cardiologists recommend not being a Cal fan. It's certainly not for the faint of heart. Welcome to Tell the Whole Damn World and our weekly football recap episode. It's Monday, September 29th, 2025. I love seeing all the pictures of Chancellor Rich Lyons at the game in Boston, and it's another great day to be a Bear. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Reza Sirafinejad. We're going to get right into our recap in just a minute, but let me quickly tell you a little about us and what we're all about. We're the podcast that celebrates all things Cal. We produce on-camera interviews with the prominent people associated with UC Berkeley, known to many as the center of the universe. We want to learn what it is about Cal that makes it such a special place to so many of us. And we share stories about the rich history and traditions of the University of California. We're currently only releasing football-related content during the football season. And you can look forward to a very special interview with Golden Bear legend Russell White that will be released October 13th. We hope to put a smile on your face and help you come away feeling good about your connection to the greatest university on the planet. Please tell all your Cal friends about us. You can share us on social media, and please remember that if you missed any of our previous featured guest or Cal history episodes over the last several months, you can simply go to tellthewholedamnworld.com to view our entire episode library. We've interviewed some great guests. Let me now bring in two Cal Hall of Famers. My co-host, Ahmad Anderson, the former Cal defensive back who created Bear territory, and legendary Cal linebacker David Ortega, the all-time leading tackler in Cal history. And hey, how about that game on Saturday?
What a game. Yeah, I had not used my inhaler in a while, and I had to use it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say that game was such a roller coaster, just going up and down and all over it. You know, I felt pretty good about our chances, like, before kickoff, and then to just fall behind 14-0 early, right? And you kind of tack that on to the 34 points that we yielded in the last game, and you kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you're like, wait a minute. We've given up 48 points and haven't scored a single point all of a sudden? Like, what's going on? And it kind of felt like maybe the floor was about to drop out on our entire season. But I got to tell you, we have got a resilient bunch, right? To battle back, to tie the game, and then at halftime be down 17-14, but we had climbed our way back into it. And I was just so proud of seeing how great the team played and hung together and fought through that adversity. And I'm reminded of what you had said there just a week or two ago there, Shark, when you said that the great teams find a way to win. And we will take an ugly win any day over an ugly loss, right?
After a good-looking loss, because if you score a lot of points,
like in the Sonny Dykes era, and you give up one more than we score, it's still bad. It's about winning. We had talked last week about regrouping as a team, and everybody getting back on that horse and just fighting for each other and being a team again, making sure that we and not the me came out for this week. And it was great. It was not a pretty game. There were some pretty plays, but in the end, we won that game, and we were very lucky. But we also put ourselves out there to be successful. And that's what happened. And that's how they came out with that victory.
Yeah. Overall, there's work to be done. You cannot continue to play like that the entire season for many reasons. One, as the day goes longer and longer and longer, that meaning the season, there are going to be injuries. There's going to be fatigue. And to also always feel like you are climbing uphill to win a game, that impacts you, your morale, and you're sort of waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'd say, and Shark would probably agree, is that we've both been in those worlds, right, where there is that time where you go, what the hell is this happening? What? And you're looking around and you're thinking, based upon your passion, desire to win, that there were 10 other guys just like you wanting to win, wanting to run out on the field. I want to throw the ball. I want to catch the ball. I want to tackle the player all by myself, because you're trusting and you believe in your teammates, but something's got to click. And so you got to make the play. The play comes to you, but you got to be able to make the play.
Right. And one of the things, Ahmad, with that is that I didn't see that from our team yesterday, that one guy's trying to do everything, and there have been times when we rested on a couple guys to just make
Yeah.
all the plays.
Yes.
But no, everybody made a play. Everybody made a mistake, but
Yep.
everybody made plays too. Jordan King, a couple of his catches were awesome.
Yeah.
Stepping in for Hemper, and also, the running. We ran the ball pretty well. We got stuffed a bunch of times, but we kept running the ball, and it eventually cracked that barrier. What I want to talk about is turnovers and how it changes games, because that's really what the issue is.
Yep.
If there's a turnover, that changes the complexity of the game. So Zeke masses his interception right after going for it on fourth down and not getting it. And that guy made another great play, 4 interceptions, leads the nation in interceptions. I mean, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That guy he's doing a great job. But then here's the key. On the last drive for us and the last drive for BC, when Jaron Sangapulatele was in the grips of one of the D linemen, he threw a ball up that floated, and their linebacker had a great opportunity to make it to catch it and basically end the game. He did not. He dropped it. And so we kept going, and then we had the Mason mini touchdown. And then in the following drive, when they drove all the way down to the goal line, and then Luke Farrelly makes that interception, he created an opportunity. He saw the opportunity and made the play. I don't know if you noticed, but throughout the country, I've seen a lot of defensive backs not make that, and linebackers not make that catch.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the different thing. Last week we talked about confidence, and confidence is so important when you're playing the game. And we were talking about last week confidence, because last week Masses had a chance to have another interception against San Diego State, but he just knocked the ball down with one hand, where he typically would have intercepted that ball. So this week he has a little bit more confidence, because that was on a downward spiral that he couldn't quite get that ball. But this week he makes that play. Luke Farrelly makes that play. Those change the complexity of the game. And I was so excited that we did that, because those are, when you don't make those plays, it comes back to hurt you. And
Absolutely.
I thought that was awesome. And I love that we took advantage of that and won the game.
Yeah, I think that you're spot on with that. You got to be ball hungry. I mean, you've got to be, from a mindset, a team's mindset, somebody make the play. And somebody making the play means we make a play to make that happen. Guarding the receiver, where that now the quarterback has to pull it back in, reset. And as they're resetting, that D-line, that edge rusher is coming. Like that, to have to reset and then look away from where you were and take your mind off of where that pressure was coming from, that changes the game. I mean, in that last play, you see the quarterback longer goes in, gets ready, and then turns to reset and feels the pressure and lets it go. Just lets it go. And I'm thinking, where was he throwing? Like, where was he actually throwing the ball? And there was no real zip on it. There was, it's almost like I'm trying to get rid of it, but I can't just get rid of it. This is the game. And just enough pressure took his mind off of what he should have done and what he did. And that was a phenomenal play. I mean, we're watching the linebackers watching it, ready.
Right. I don't know if you saw it, but at the goal line, what happens a lot of times is that you're playing man-to-man defense.
Yes.
So the linebackers and the DBs match up and they play defense. So what do you run at the goal line? A lot of people run crossing patterns.
Yes.
Because then they get mixed up and then you get a guy open, boom, touchdown. Well, we played zone, and I love zone at the goal line. And they went to the goal line and was keeping everything in front of them, right? Well, one guy ran right in front of the linebackers, and that's usually there as we call eye candy, because it gets you to move up towards them.
Right.
And right behind you, there's another guy. So
Slipping
this guy
back.
runs in front of Luke Farrelly and Cade, and Luke and Cade stayed back, and he threw the ball right in between Cade and Luke. And at that time, he was reading the eye, so he moved this way.
That's
and
right.
Got the ball, and that's exactly where he was throwing. He was throwing to the second level of the double in route, double posts.
Yep.
And that's where he caught the ball. That was a great play. That was in about a 5-yard area. That all happened.
That's crazy. And I'm yelling. I'm at a backyard function, and you got about 7 bears in this. It's a political event, and everybody's got their phone here. And they said, "Oh, well, I don't know. I don't think." I said, "Get away from me. Get away from me with that negative talk." So the play pops up, and I'm yelling at the linebacker. I'm saying, "Sit down, sit down, sit down. Don't go any further. Just sit down." And sure enough, he sat out, and he, boom. And the guy said, "How did you know that?" I was like, "I played the game. I don't know. I don't." But you're right. Don't bite at that apple. Let that apple pass, but keep your eyes on the quarterback. Sit down and get that baby. And that's what happened.
It was good. It was a great play, and Luke, being a redshirt freshman, making a big time play like that was amazing. And
Amazing.
I tip my hat to him. I mean, last week we tipped our hat to San Diego State because they just trounced us, right?
Yep.
So this week I tipped my hat to our team for being resilient, for coming back and going all the way across country, getting focused, and then going out and win that game, because there was a lot of adversity there, a lot of adversity for them to overcome, and they did it.
Not falling into the tank, not allowing the narrative in their head when it went up 14-0 to say to themselves, "Well, here we go again. I hope somebody makes a play." They made a play. We made a play. Bears win.
I think you talked about this before, Reza. Jaron being very mature for his age, and he seems to calm down the offense, and they started sparking after that, and then they started running the ball a little bit. So I really think that Jaron has some special sauce to him that can help, that helps our offense find their niche during a game. So it's really exciting, and it's really fun to watch. Great stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you guys covered just about everything, but I want to get my chance to say a few things here too. But I mean, yeah, Jaron Chiave Sangapolotele was 22 of 34 with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And that it was interesting that first interception came on his very first pass, but then completed like the next 10 or 11 passes in a row. Yeah, he has got that intangible quality. And you talk about the 3 key plays that went our way in that game. When we were down 17-14 and we had BC kind of pinned pretty far deep in their own territory, and Masses came up with that interception that allowed us to go ahead 21-17. That was huge, right? Okay, now we're over the hump. We're not chasing them anymore. Now we're in front. And then, of course, on that last game-winning drive, when there's no room for error, and Sangapolotele just threw that ball on a rope while scrambling to Mason Minnie, who took it to the end zone 51 yards. I mean, what a stellar play. What a fantastic freshman. And then on the defense, another fantastic freshman, right? Luke Farrella with that interception with 15 seconds left on the clock. I mean, that is shades of Mike Muhammad down on the farm when we picked off Andrew Luck in the big game, right? It just reminded me so much of that. But this is coming from a redshirt freshman, who's very quickly becoming a star of that defense. I think he's already a star of that defense, no question, alongside Cade. Some other things to point out, a lot of people have kind of been grumbling a little bit about the receiving core and maybe dropping some passes here and there and all that. There was none of that in this game whatsoever. You take a look around, and Tron Grizel, 5 catches for 78 yards. Jordan King, 4 catches for 42 yards. Mason Minnie with a career best 70 yards on 4 catches. And Jacob DeJesus with a career high 8 receptions for 61 yards. So they all contributed. And then the running game, Kendrick Raphael.
Yeah.
119 yards on a career best, 25 carries and a touchdown. I mean, there is a lot to love about the offense. And we did pretty well controlling the clock. When I saw the final stats, we held the ball for over 35 minutes in that game. So we put together long, sustained drives. Now, the killer is that we didn't convert all of those drives into points, right? We were 6 of 12 on third downs, but only 1 of 3 on fourth downs. And some of those spots were just killing me. And I know it's a subjective thing, but man, I super thought that we should maybe, challenge some of those, or just like, hey, what is going on? How is it that we are not? It just, from what I could see on TV, it looked like we should have just had a little better placement. That would have been nice. But despite all of that, right? Despite everything, and we even had some false starts that kind of were just, a little agonizing to see at certain points. So they came all the way down the field. We're like, oh man, no, we can't lose this. And for Luke Farrella to save the day and to get that interception, I mean, man, there was just an explosion of joy by all the Cal fans there. I just love it because I know a lot of fans who flew out for the game.
Well, think about this, okay? Because I'm listening to that particular time with Mike Pulowski on the radio, because I was coming back from the airport, and they throw the ball. He says it's a ball thrown to the end zone. He catches it. Cam Sidney came up and knocked that ball out of that kid's hands, or jarred him enough so that when he fell to the ground, the ball fell out of his hands and he didn't continue with the ball. So there's no possession. That was a phenomenal play. That was awesome. I mean, Cam Sidney, who's about 5'8" and about 150 pounds, but just brings it. He brings it, and he knocks a dog out of people. And that I love that. So that play gets us to the next play. So think about that. That play got us the next one. Cam Sidney, you got my hats off to Cam Sidney for that great play. I mean, he hit that kid. The kid basically had a touchdown. And without Cam hitting him as hard as he did, that ball doesn't get jarred. So that was a phenomenal play as well.
Well, I was thinking that guy reminded me of a guy that played back in the day, was 5'9.5". Oh, that was me. But but I was fired up on that. I mean, that's the kind of football that we have to play. I mean, that's the kind of football we have to have as often. I love it every day down if we could do that. But that's the kind of play that makes coordinators think again about, do I go that way? Does this work? And causes them to come off their game. I just am really excited. I got to tell you this about the running that we did this time, where we weren't able to do that in a way I would have really have liked us to stay with it in the San Diego game. This is where it was at this time, and that just gives us that much more potential, and I believe confidence of our team to be able to move the ball. I mean, if you were talking about the last 2 minutes of the game, and this is what we did. The capabilities are endless, and we just got to keep building on that, building on that, building on that. This works. This works. And, we got another team coming in here this week, and they're for real. I mean, they are solid, confident, and consistent team. That's what I saw in Duke when I watched it this week.
Right. Well, there are a couple things, and hopefully we are taking notes and learning our lessons about what needs to be improved upon, because it was a little surprising to see BC be able to run on us, especially Turbo Richard. I mean, what a great name for running back. But he broke free on a 71-yard touchdown that felt like he ran for 150 yards on that one run alone, because it was like, oh no, it was just so, ran the entire length of the field, it seems. But he ended the day with 171 yards rushing on us. And we do have some injuries that we're contending with on the defensive side of the ball. Ryan McCullough was out for the game, as well as Isaiah Crosby. And both those guys are stalwarts on our defense for sure.
Mhm.
So, but it's always, it's next man up. And I got to say, hats off to Drew Polidor, who stepped in nicely for Isaiah Crosby, picking up 6 tackles. Cade Uwave, of course, had 6 tackles, including the only sack of the game. Oh, and this was big. After having given up 4 sacks against San Diego State, we gave up 0
Yeah.
against Boston College.
Yeah.
So offensive line certainly did its job, and just great total team effort. And again, just brings to mind that in a game, you're going to have these ups and downs. Not everything is going to go your way. And that was like a perfect example of it in this game, where it seemed like, oh man, we didn't get the right spot. Oh man, we scored this touchdown. We're all excited. We go ahead, only a minute 30 left of the game. They come all the way back down like, oh no. But still, somehow, some way, we found a way to win. And we are 4-1 in the season, 1-0 in the ACC, at the top of the standings in the ACC. Duke is coming in this Saturday. It's homecoming, another late start, 7:30 p.m. But, hey, if you are anywhere near Berkeley, we need you to be there at Memorial Stadium. And it should be a great game, because Duke just demolished Syracuse in a shocker. I don't think anyone saw that one coming. I mean, I guess Syracuse's quarterback got injured in the game, but they just really throttled Syracuse in Syracuse. It's interesting that we are going into the game as an underdog. And, hey, I actually kind of like that. I like that we are the underdog, because we do have a lot left to prove as a football team.
And I don't think I never believe in the spreads, because I just don't. On any given Saturday, especially at the college level, anybody can win, and there's a lot of X factors in all the games. So I don't put much weight into them. All I care about is if we practice right, and then we get to the game and we put that into motion during game day. Yeah, that's what I'm most concerned about, because I was listening to Justin Wilcox, and he said we had a great week of practice this week getting ready for BC, but he said we had a great week of practice last week too, getting ready for San Diego State, and that's hard. You got to translate that to the field, and that's really important. And it's incumbent upon the elder players and the coaches to make sure that the students remember that, because a lot of times the kids are coming out and they get too hyped. They're past their area of where they can actually know what they're doing and go play hard without being too high. Because you don't want to be too high. You want to be excited, but you don't want to be too high and not remember the things that you're supposed to do. If you can play the game by just seeing what you're seeing and go play at full speed, that's the optimal way of playing. You don't want to be thinking too much, and you don't want to be too emotional, because that throws you off your game. You need to be fast, and you need to be nimble, and you need to just know what you're doing. You have to have a consciousness of what you were doing, because for every situation there's a counter to it, and you got to know when to counter it.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm trying to temper it a little bit. I'm just waiting for us to really blow it up. Not looking past Duke, but looking forward to the challenge with Duke, forcing us to play at the level and capabilities I believe we are, with the capabilities we have and the skill sets we have. to show a dynamite homecoming win. And I'm just excited. I'm probably just be one of the few games I actually sit in my seat and watch the entire game, just because I'm anticipating some good stuff happening. Really, the run coming together, the passing, which I don't doubt, it's about rhythm. But one of the most exciting parts of all this, like Keith Jackson used to always say on ABC, the kid's only a freshman. Yeah, just a freshman, and just a freshman. And we have a bunch of freshmen, which is really exciting when you think about NIL. You got all these, juniors, 7 year juniors or seniors popping in. These cats are freshmen. And if they can bring this kind of synergy together, if they can bring it together as a team, then as NIL changes, and it's changing every day, then maybe these freshmen will still be seniors for us as we continue to move through our program.
We just got to take care of our own, take care of our kids.
That's
Make
it.
sure that they're comfortable at Cal. Make sure they're going to class, and make sure they're getting a degree that matters for them in the future, for the 50 years after that they have to live and work. And if they can do that, they'll have the world's our oyster.
Look
They,
here,
they, they can get that done.
the number one public university in the land. Everybody's not going to be able to go to the next level, but that right there, you can stick that in your pocket, put it on your wall, and that will carry you if you put in the work.
That's right. Well, hey, and you guys are kind of just talking about building the program, right? And I think for sure now, with the kind of support that we have from Chancellor Rich Lyons and General Manager Ron Rivera, it is a new era of Cal football. You better believe it. We've turned the page, and this is the season that everyone's going to see like, oh, Cal again. Yes, Cal is coming back. Well, hey, thank you, gentlemen. Really appreciate your time here again. That's going to do it for this week's football recap episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to spending time with you again next week. And hey, again, if you live anywhere near Berkeley, please be sure to make it to Memorial Stadium this Saturday for homecoming. We need your support to help beat Duke. Thank you so much for tuning in. We sincerely appreciate all of you out there listening and watching. And remember, if you live in Richmond, please consider giving your vote to my co-host, Ahmad Anderson, to be the next mayor of Richmond. There is no question he would do amazing things for the city of pride and purpose. This podcast is entirely a labor of love and a reflection of how much we love our university. Please help grow this podcast by telling the whole damn world about us. Just tell all your friends to go to tellthewholedamnworld.com. We celebrate all things Cal and the prominent people who are passionate about the University of California. Do you feel Cal is the center of the universe? Do you bleed blue and gold? We want you to tell the whole damn world about it. Go Bears!
Go Bears!
Go Bears!